Gentlemen, this is John Ware back again for a very special interview tonight with Miss Spike Zombie. How are you doing, ma'am?
I'm good. How are you today?
Pretty good. Now, we're going to start off just by your modeling career. We'll start off with that first. How did you get started in that career?
Freelancing modeling. So I work with brands as an influencer. I also have an OnlyFans at Spike Zombie, and it's free. So I have delved into the not safe for work department as well.
How long? Sorry about that.
So it's been about 10 years since I started modeling.
So 10 years, pretty long time to be doing that.
Yes.
When did you get your first call to do a professional wrestling match?
So I met somebody online and we were friends, and her boyfriend at the time was a professional wrestler, and that's how I got introduced to wrestling. You know, we used to watch wrestling, I don't know her little names, like WWE, there was the women's division, there was the one that comes on once a year that you have to have a paid subscription to watch. Sorry, I'm sitting outside. And he told me that, you know, he worked with a team which was rated X at the time, and he would love another woman to help go on stage and introduce them, and they were the bad guys. And so we got to distract the the judge and everybody, so that they could perform low moves and stuff.
So Rated X, that is King Jeremy Snaker, and who was the other one?
Psycho.
So I'm not as familiar with Psycho as I am King Jeremy. King Jeremy, for the fans, you know, he's been in Softcore Cup 2, which we're going to dig into that a little bit later. But Softcore Cup 2, he was also at the Angel of Death tournament. He was in the match with Boris Dookie and Jay Impact, the leader of the New Religion.
So he usually does tag team with Psycho.
Yeah.
And I think they both have retired. I think Psycho retired due to a back injury 2 years ago, and King Jeremy retired, I think, this year.
Oh, so King Jeremy retired?
Or he's taking time off because he just had a baby this week.
Yeah, I knew he had the baby. Like, we just worked on a show, Shoot Style Baby, about maybe 2 months ago, and he had a few matches. He was in a boxing match with Raider Rock, and I was the referee to that match, so he knocked the hell out of Raider Rock during that ordeal.
Raider Rock was actually the first wrestling match I went to watch.
Yeah, Raider Rock's a good old guy.
Yes, he is.
So, was the Softcore Cup 2 your actual debut match?
That I was in, yes.
Yeah. Now, how was your feelings about that? Like, was you nervous getting into your first match ever?
Well, it wasn't just my first match. It was a bra and panty match.
Yeah.
So, yes, and I didn't understand many wrestling moves because I've always seen it from the side and never inside the ring. And inside the ring, it is a whole different world.
Now,
the ring is bigger than it looks.
Yeah, and you were in the match with Averill. Was y'all ever like partnered up before that? Just besides being valets?
No.
No. So that was y'all never really had the opportunity to go over anything before.
Well, we were friends off and on, but we didn't really sit down to discuss it. So we just kind of winged it on the night of.
Like that, and you just watched that match for the first time, maybe what, less than 2 weeks ago?
Yes, you're the one who showed it to me.
And what's funny is, like, I heard about the incident that happened to you at a softcore cup, and at the time I didn't have this, interview show, so I really didn't reach out to you to talk to you about it because I kind of thought that'd been weird. But knowing that I got the interview show, I was like, I would have really reached out to her and talked to her about it, and it's funny, we discussed this like a week ago, and I don't know if you've really paid attention to wrestling in this past week, but in this past week, there has been so many allegations coming from the female workers about, like sexual harassment and, harassment in general. And we discussed this before all this started coming out, and I was like, wow, that's kind of a weird coincidence that, the timing of all this.
To him specifically, or to other wrestling members?
Other wrestling members, yeah.
So, I know that night, I realized that it is a wonderful, wrestling is such a beautiful community, because when that happened, and when it was confirmed that I had something slipped in my drink, and the other girl had something slipped in their drink, everybody banded together, and they blocked him from every single female.
Yeah.
And they called his ass out on it, too.
And see, like, I did not know about that situation at all. I guess it was because I had so much stuff going on that night that I just didn't know. I didn't hear anything about it. And, like, I don't even know if you knew this, but, he was actually in my group at that time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And, like, that's how far out of the loop I was, that I had no idea that happened. And no, he's not part of the group anymore.
Good.
But yeah,
he was sneaky with it. I've never had anybody buy me a drink. That was my first time at a bar. He knew my name when I came in. When I came in, he's like, "Oh my God, you're Spike Zombie," because I've modeled before. I have probably 40K.
You had 40, and then it just shut off.
Okay, so I never had a drink before, and I never been to a bar, so he just walked up, and he gave me a drink, and I drank it. And he knew my name, and I was excited. He introduced himself to me specifically, sought me out before everything started, and when we just got there and were setting up, and Avril was taking a shot so she could calm her nerves, because one of us was getting into their skivvies. So, my dumbass just drank it.
Now, damn, I had a follow-up question immediately, and then the question done slipped through. Was he like interacting with you a lot in the back?
So, until I drank it, no. He was just like, "Hey, am I allowed to say his name?"
Yeah, you can say it.
Yeah, he was like, "Hey, I'm Derek," and he, I think, is still on my friends list on Facebook because he added me, and I'm socially shy, so I just accepted. He tried to go on my OnlyFans, and I immediately blocked him. He's asked to buy content, and I always refuse. I did try to say that I know he did it, and he's like, "Were you drugged? Wow, that's wild." But, I mean, we know he did it. People saw him do it.
Now, were you pretty messed up during the match, or did effects really come out afterwards?
I have a slow immune system, so it started a little before the match, and I said, "Wow, I'm not feeling too hot," and I didn't drink anything but that shot and maybe like a sip of a beer, so I'm not that lightweight.
Yeah.
So it didn't fully kick in until after we left, luckily, about, I think, 2 a.m., and that's when I was like, I think this is a muscle relaxer, because I've broken my leg and stuff before, and they give you things to help, and it was like that. It's like where you want to be able to hold something and move, but you can't. It's like you don't have the strength, and you feel if you pick something up, you'll immediately drop it. So that's what he slipped. And it was pretty strong. My immune system's really slow, so for somebody like me who's a big girl, it's not going to knock me out. But for somebody like the other girl he gave it to, she's small, she's beautiful, she's petite. Yeah, she had to leave because it was that strong.
Now, can you say who he gave it to, or no?
The girl in the ring, I don't know her name. She was the one holding up the numbers.
Okay.
That's why she couldn't stay there the whole night to do it.
Okay, I know. I know her name. I just can't think of it offhand because I know who you're talking about. So,
and
did you?
I remember he kept trying to separate me from Jeremy, and he told me specifically, "Hey, you need to help me with something. Come back here." And I was like, "Hey, Jeremy, this guy said he wants me to help him with something." And he's like, no. So King Jeremy Snaker and Psycho and a few other wrestlers kind of tried to keep Derek out of the ring at that point. The other girl, she had a chaperone with her as well, so she went with them, and she went home where it was safer for her. But I stayed and I finished the match.
Yeah. Did you ever reach out to the promoter about that by chance? No. Because, see, honestly, I don't even know. I don't know if he knew about it until we recently discussed it. Because, it was at one of his newer shows that, Jeremy told me about it. And, I was kind of thrown off about it. I was like, damn, I didn't even know that. And then I was like, I was talking about, he was going to be at one of the next shows possibly. And that's when Jeremy was like, if he's at the next show, I'm going to, punch him in his fucking face.
Yeah, and he would too.
And see, but that's when I was like, well, what? I think that's when I was like, well, what happened? I think that's what started our conversation, and that's when he told me about it, and I was just like, well, shit, I didn't know that.
Sometimes this is kind of up to the woman. Like, I shouldn't have been a dumbass and took a drink from a stranger. So a lot of us don't talk about it or come forward.
Yeah. So your first match, you may say it was a bad match, but hell, the people on YouTube have watched the shit out of it. I know on my channel, I want to say it's got 1,000+ views or so, and the DVD sales for the Softcore Cup 2 have been great, and it's considered one of the most controversial shows of all time. Of course, you can see why. And then, you knew there was, a rated X match that night or an adult triple X match. So, that just added to the weird-ass controversy of that damn night.
It was fun, though.
So, would you, if Kevin Brandon at Deep South or any other, promoter reached out to you to do another, performance like that, would you do it?
If possible, yes.
So, you got, I joke with all my fans all the time about OnlyFans. You got an OnlyFans account. You want to put the name out there for it?
Spike Zombie. My modeling name is Spike Zombie. Spike like a dog, and Zombie.
So, anytime anybody wants to look up anything, Spike Zombie.
Yes.
I've seen your official YouTube page. That's how I reached out to you. Because I didn't know, I think I tried to look up, original name, and I couldn't find you. And then I was like, hell, what was Spike Zombie? That's what it was. So then I eventually sent you that message.
Yes.
You got 2 pages, right? Or is there just one?
I have a profile page, your regular profile page where you talk to family and friends. And then I have a modeling page, which is Spike Zombie Official. So,
some of your newer photos, is it milk? Is that what that is?
Yes. So, it was a milk bath. They do it a lot for maternity and, babies and pretty stuff.
Yeah. I seen it. I thought that's what it was.
I have the same photos. I just haven't uploaded them yet because Facebook blocked me for 30 days.
Facebook is an ass because, I've been in and out of Facebook jail so much here lately, and it's basically almost political, honestly. But
well, Sorry.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, their auto flag, it tries to detect skin tone. So, like, if you wear, I don't know, like a bra and you just have it up, you can flash your whole top. But I had a yellow sweater, and they auto flagged it as not safe for work. And I was like, listen, that's not how it was. But due to COVID, nobody's available to look at it. So they just said, we've taken your feedback.
Yeah, because like there's been literally 2 things that I've uploaded like last month or so that did not go against policy. But literally they said something went against policy and it banned me. And I'm just looking at it like I don't get it.
It's an auto flag system.
Well, it sucks ass. But
yes, it does.
I did send what is his name? Zettenberg or Mettenberg, whatever the owner's name is.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, I sent him my official page so he can come and like it, but he ain't read my message. What an asshole.
Nah, we don't like Zuckerberg. He's trying to block a lot of political opinions that don't agree with his.
Well, you know what? Now it's true because I had one flagged. It was a Trump post about the bikers, and it got flagged as false news. And whenever I replied on it about Democrats, it actually got deleted.
Huh. I know he flagged one post where it said that he's been trying to help reform police. That's why you don't see him shared.
Yeah. Yeah, Facebook's going, and the only reason Facebook's doing that, honestly, right now is because it's an election year. I guarantee you. Next year, none of that stuff's going to matter.
Yep.
So, a little off subject. Has there been any like riots or any like protests, like destruction in your area?
Yes. So there's, I don't know if they're still going. There's protests in the nearest city to me, which is Greensboro, and there was one in High Point, which is the city I'm near. They destroyed somebody. I don't think it was the protesters, because they pointed out who did it. Somebody destroyed the Civil Rights Museum. They threw a rock through the window. And downtown, they destroyed the jewelry store window, but they fixed that. A couple buildings have been broken into and vandalized. They haven't fixed some of those yet. I think they just moved. I'm in a furniture market. That's all they do is make furniture and display furniture.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to steal from them.
Like literally, I did a interview a few weeks ago, and I was supporting the Black Lives Matter movement, not defending their actions. I'm not with the riot and all that kind of stuff, but the movement itself, or I'll say the idea of it, because the group is actually funded by Democrats, and I'm a Republican, so I can't really get behind that. But the ideal of it, I am behind, and I stated in my interview that I was proud that Birmingham, Alabama, there was no riots or anything like that, and I'd be damned within like 2 days there was riots and they destroyed shit.
Because I don't think it's the protesters. When I went, it was very peaceful.
Yeah.
Because I went to a couple. I think it's the people that come wanting to cause violence, wanting to, I guess, unleash their anger on things. I think they try to use the protest as a cover.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts on it.
Like, outside groups coming in, trying to, fit in with the crew, or the group, or the city, and tear it down.
Well, they do it at night. And I mean, you've seen it. You've seen people, if you watch the videos, maybe not the news, because I don't watch the news. But if you watch some of the video footage, you can see people being like, don't do that. And they do it anyways.
Yeah, like, like you said, I don't watch the media right now, especially the news, because I think half of it is fake. You don't know what's true and what's not. Like,
well, the news has always been caught lying. There's this one guy, and he was, kneeling in water, and then he's like, it's flooding downtown, and I mean, people called that out.
Yes, I actually think I know what you're talking about. I've seen that one. Because I don't know if you follow NASCAR or anything, but right down the street from where I live is Talladega, and that the race car driver found a noose in his garage yesterday, and that's been nothing but the headlines for the last 24 hours now. So, I'm right down the road from Talladega, and some stuff's happened down there, and it's been chaotic for the last 24 hours.
Oh, you're near NASCAR. I grew up on NASCAR. NASCAR is not the same as what I grew up with. I remember, oh my God, I had the biggest crush in the world on Casey Kane growing up. And I mean, he's beautiful. And almost all the drivers I know, they no longer work there. You don't have Junior. I grew up in Florida. My parents were at the race when the whole thing with Senior went down, and that was just, it was terrible.
Yeah, Junior was my boy. Like, after he retired, I was pretty much done with NASCAR. The only thing that I did watch from NASCAR was Talladega, because that's my local track.
Well, see, after I moved out, I stopped watching NASCAR, and actually when I met King Jeremy Sneaker, that's when I saw it again, and it was so different. Now they walk down like a red carpet, and they have regulations where they can't even turn their head, and it's not the same sport.
Yeah.
That being said, I do understand why they are trying to make it more inclusive, because they do have a very, very specific fan base, and they have always been trying to expand it. I remember when they put Danica Patrick on there, and everybody's like, she's a woman, she can't drive, get her off. Same thing with Juan Pablo Montoya. Everybody didn't like him just because he was Colombian. So I understand what they're trying to do and why.
Yeah, Dana.
But they did just piss off a whole bunch of rednecks.
Yeah, Danica Patrick. They wrecked that woman so much.
I never followed her. I know I probably should have been more excited about women in NASCAR, but she was very not as aggressive at that time with driving as she could have been.
Yeah, but I mean, in her defense, no matter, it seemed like every track or every race, she was in a wreck, and then half the time it wasn't her fault. They were aggressive whenever she was on the track. They were wrecking her like crazy. But
I miss NASCAR sometimes though.
Yeah.
Where they could have been more aggressive. Now, if you're aggressive with driving, they kind of don't get happy.
So, you're doing good with your OnlyFans. You've been in the business, the modeling business, for a very long time. You did your wrestling match. You did your valets. What do you see in your foreseeable future?
Well, I mean, there's always things I wanted to get into. I do photography too. I've had a few pictures stolen from me and used that are still pretty popular. I do pet photography. I've wanted to expand to other women, so now I do boudoir and photography. I'm not going to get into porn, I'll just say that. I'm pretty not sexual. Honestly, anything. I'm down to try anything. I don't really have many limits set up for myself, because if you limit yourself, then you don't get to experience a lot of fun things.
Yeah. Well, it was about 4 years ago, I think, 4 to 3 years ago, I started my first softcore porn, but let's not talk about that.
Well, see, OnlyFans is new. I've only had it for 2 months, and I just hit 300 fans today, but mine's free. One of them is free, and you can do pay-per-view content. So that's the one I've been promoting and making stuff for.
Yeah. See,
I've
talked about doing one just for my random videos and just random shit. Like, I could put random interviews and random shows on there, and I think that it would be good. Because,
You can. Well, see, you can. You could do exclusive content, exclusive interviews, maybe, exclusive pictures or information about your wrestling team and wrestling that's coming up, where they could vote. Like, if you want certain members of your group to do certain things at a show, you could have them vote. They could tip and tell you what they'd like, and, like, the highest tipper can figure that one out.
Yeah. So
it's a very powerful tool. It's not just for nudes.
yeah, and honestly, that's how I found out about it. Is that's all I thought it was, and then like I've talked to a few people that had it, and then they said that you can do interviews and you can put footage of shows and random stuff up there, and I was like, well, hell, that's pretty useful because you're limited on what you can do on YouTube and Facebook, especially.
Yeah, that's why I don't know if I was allowed to say nudes. But if you do, it's you can even make it free and have pay-per-view unlockable content. So, like, let's say you interviewed more female wrestlers and you're like, here's some bikini pics. Pay $5 to unlock. They could even do that.
Yeah.
Or exclusive interview with, like King Jeremy Snaker about new upcoming events, and you could unlock that behind a paywall, and you could do that.
So we could even...
So they could see the wrestlers they want to see, and you could also offer free content, like as a teaser, or like, if it's like an hour-long interview, you could offer like 15 minutes of it that you piece together. You could start a community. I see a future.
Yeah.
Because I don't think anybody has like a full page devoted to, what do they call it, hardcore wrestling?
Yeah, hardcore death matches.
Yeah, well, they're the word. I call it kind of backyard wrestling.
I've done that too.
WWE.
Yeah, WWE.
Backyard. Oh, and then I learned about the tricks too. I didn't know that was real blood, but it's real blood when y'all are wrestling.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like.
Oh, and I forgot to tell you, when I ended the match, that's because her titty popped out. And then, I wasn't thinking, and she was drunk, and I didn't know what to do, so that's why you see me handcuff her bra within, 4 seconds. Because I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah, you hear the guy on commentary say it. A tit popped out.
Yeah, did he really?
Yeah.
I didn't listen to it, but it was 4 a.m. when I listened to it, because I do a lot of stuff at night. Yeah, it popped out, and I was, terrified, so all I did was yank up her bra because I didn't want anybody to see her nip off. And then I didn't know what to do, so I'm just like, oh, I'll end the match.
Yeah. Yeah, that match was something special. We'll say that. It was a special match.
And she really did chop me. That's when I chopped her back really hard.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting her to slap the shit out of me, and I was like, excuse you.
Well,
it was fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was fun. I mean, sometimes you can go out there and have a small match like that, and it maybe not go the way you expect, but you have fun, and that's all that matters. And for the promoter, sell DVDs. That's what he wants.
Yeah, well, if anybody ever wanted me to be a part of the wrestling team or something again, and they would train me more than the 3 moves I know, and I only know 3 moves. I'm like John Cena over here.
Well, I have definitely had fun, Spike. If you have anything that you want to add before we get off here tonight, go ahead and just let me know.
Just, feel free to reach out to me. I do hope that they don't let Derek back into any wrestling ring with as much of a danger as he has become. I don't know if he's still trying to take underhanded means to separate women from their wrestling teams or not.
Well, the good thing about the video is, people will know about it now. Especially Kevin. So, if you ever come back to one of Kevin's shows, yeah, he I know he won't be there.
Good. Well, see, I don't know. You're the only wrestler I still have on my Facebook. And I think I have one more.
But that night, he was the only problem. He was the only person you had a problem out of, though, right?
Yeah, everybody was. It's just a beautiful community. Everybody was so protective after they found that out. Everybody called them out on the shit. They were all so welcoming to each other.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful community. From an outside perspective that just got into it, it's a beautiful, tight-knit community. Everybody is just so welcoming and happy, and a lot of the anger and feuds you see, they're not really there.
Oh yeah, like I don't know if you know about me and Spider Boudreaux, but everybody says that we've have one of the most heated rivalries in the South over almost going on 10 years now. Well, almost a 10-year feud. But if you see us outside of the ring, we're joking and we're we can kid and mess with each other like brothers.
It's that competitive spirit. I love it.
Yeah. But I've definitely enjoyed having you on here. Of course, it will go up on my YouTube channel, and as soon as it's available, I will send it to you. So if you want to share it, you can share it, and hopefully you enjoyed it.
Thank you. Of course I did. I haven't done an interview in a long time.
Well, that's good. Well, I mean, it's not good that you haven't done one. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
No, it's okay. I don't try to collaborate as much as I should.
Alrighty, well, thank you, Spike. This is the Angel of Death. Hopefully, everybody enjoyed.